Welcome. I'm Luna Celestine, and if you found your way here today, there's a good chance you've already sensed it. That subtle yet undeniable shift in the atmosphere, as if something powerful is stirring just beneath the surface. This isn't about luck. What we're witnessing now is alignment, the result of your consistent efforts meeting divine timing. Because right now, Leo, a true wealth portal is opening for you, and it's not by accident. In this video, we'll explore the deeper astrological forces at play, why this shift is happening now, which key areas of your chart are being activated, and most importantly, how you can step into this energy with intention, not hesitation, because this moment isn't meant to pass you by, it's meant to be claimed. Let's begin. Let's begin with your second house, Leo. The realm of personal income, material resources, and, at its core, self-worth. When this area of your chart is activated, it's not just about how much money is coming in. It's about the deeper question, how much do you believe you deserve? Right now, the universe is directing focused energy into this house, asking you to re-examine the way you've been valuing yourself, not just in your bank account, but in how you present yourself, how you speak about your work, how you allow others to compensate you. If you've been settling, negotiating downward, or second-guessing your true worth, this is the moment to stop. The cosmic alignment here is not quiet, it's assertive. It's urging you to raise your standards, and not just in theory, tangibly, practically, out loud. If you're in a position to ask for a raise, this is the time to do so. If you've been sitting on an idea, a product, a service, a creative offering, this is your invitation to bring it forward and assign it a real value. The second house isn't passive, it's foundational. It reminds you that abundance flows not only from external opportunity, but from internal permission. You must decide that you are worthy of more before the world can reflect that truth back to you. This activation also supports reinvestment in yourself. Whether that means taking a course, upgrading your tools, or launching something you've postponed because you weren't sure if it would work, the stars are telling you the effort is no longer the question, the belief is. Your personal resources, your time, energy, and skills are assets, and the more you treat them as such, the more the world will respond in kind. This isn't about arrogance, it's about accuracy. It's about seeing yourself clearly and giving yourself permission to step into a higher tier of abundance. And as we'll see in the next sector, your 8th house. The universe is also preparing to deliver resources from unexpected directions. But it begins here, with you affirming your worth. Now let's move deeper into the 8th house. If the second house asks what you can earn for yourself, the 8th asks what you're willing to receive through others. This house governs shared resources, investments, inheritances, debts, psychological transformation, and yes, those mysterious financial blessings that seem to appear when logic says they shouldn't. It's often misunderstood because it deals with the unseen, the unplanned, the uncontrollable. But Leo, if you're willing to surrender a bit of control, this is where the magic can happen. Right now, the activation of your 8th house is a signal that you don't have to do it all on your own. In fact, trying to do so may limit the flow of wealth and opportunity that's trying to reach you. This is a time to soften your pride and expand your definition of what support looks like. Maybe it's a business partner who brings more than money to the table. Vision, experience, connection. Maybe it's a family member offering financial help, or an investor who sees potential where others haven't. Maybe it's a collaborator whose input turns your idea into something bankable. This doesn't mean you're giving away your power. It means you're recognizing that true prosperity often involves exchange, trust, and openness. The 8th house reminds us that transformation, especially financial transformation, requires vulnerability. To be open to receiving is not weakness, it's wisdom. And in this moment, you are being asked to trust that the universe can deliver abundance through unexpected channels. This is also a time when old financial entanglements may resurface. Debts, shared obligations, or even unresolved agreements from the past. Don't ignore them. The same energy that brings windfalls can also bring clarity. Clean up what needs to be addressed, and in doing so, you make space for something new to arrive. Remember, the 8th house doesn't just give, it clears, it transforms. It exchanges one form of value for another. The more open and honest you are in your dealings, the more powerfully this energy can work for you. And all of this leads us to where you're heading next, the 10th house. Because the internal shifts you allow now and the partnerships you're willing to embrace are the very things that prepare you to step into the visibility and legacy that await. The wealth that begins here in hidden places is setting the stage for something much more public. And when that moment comes, you'll want to be ready. At the peak of your chart lies the 10th house, the house of career, legacy, reputation, and long-term achievement. This is where the universe asks you not just who you are in private, but who you are willing to be in public. With current transits igniting this sector of your sky, Leo, you're being called into greater visibility. And not for the sake of attention, but for impact. What you've been building behind the scenes, the ideas you've nurtured in private, the responsibilities you've carried quietly, this is the moment they begin to crystallize into something tangible. Whether it's a leadership position, a professional breakthrough, or recognition that has long been overdue, this energy doesn't whisper, it elevates. But it requires something from you in return, a willingness to be seen. For many, the 10th house can trigger imposter syndrome, the voice that says you're not ready, not qualified, not quite there yet. But this is where you challenge that narrative. The stars are not promoting you based on perfection. They're responding to your consistency, your growth, your readiness to take up space. And if you don't step forward now, you risk letting the moment pass to someone who will. This is also a time to expand your vision. Don't just ask what job title you want. Ask what legacy you want to leave. How do you want to be known? What structures are you building that will outlive a single success or season? The 10th house reminds us that real success is not just about climbing. It's about constructing something that lasts. And the energy present now supports bold, strategic moves, pitches, proposals, public launches, anything that invites the world to see your work. If fear is present, let it be a sign that you are on the edge of something real. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the choice to act in spite of it. And right now, your chart is offering you the momentum to move upward, outward, and forward. Taken together, these 3 activations, the 2nd, 8th, and 10th houses, form a trinity of wealth, transformation, and recognition. They don't operate in isolation. The self-worth you affirm in the 2nd fuels your openness to receive in the 8th. The partnerships you cultivate there support the authority you embody in the 10th. This is not just a financial moment, it's a structural shift, a redefinition of how you earn, how you grow, and how you lead. The question now isn't whether the portal is open, it is. The question is, will you step through it? So how do you know this portal is already beginning to open for you? The signs aren't always loud, but they are consistent and unmistakable when you learn how to recognize them. One of the first is acceleration. You may notice that things are happening faster than expected. A conversation turns into an opportunity. A delayed decision suddenly moves forward. An introduction leads to an unexpected offer. This is the universe clearing the path. Not randomly, but in response to your prior readiness. These sudden movements aren't meant to overwhelm you. They're meant to confirm that alignment is in motion. At the same time, you might find your financial intuition sharpening. Decisions that once felt complex now feel clear. You're able to distinguish between what feels expansive and what feels limiting, between what you want and what you're settling for. This kind of clarity isn't accidental. It comes when your inner and outer worlds begin to mirror each other. Your instincts around money, value, timing, they're not just mental, they're energetic. And when the chart activates houses of wealth and transformation, as it is now, your inner compass becomes one of your most accurate tools. Another sign, people start showing up. The right people. individuals who believe in your vision, partners, clients, collaborators, those who want to align with what you're building. Sometimes they offer resources, sometimes it's insight, encouragement, or simply space for you to rise. If you've been used to doing things alone, this shift might feel unfamiliar. But don't mistake discomfort for danger. This is what it looks like when the universe begins to respond through others. You're not meant to carry your growth alone. These interactions are not coincidences, they're confirmations. And perhaps most importantly, you may feel a subtle but powerful shift in how you perceive yourself. The self-doubt that once echoed quietly in the background starts to lose volume. You begin to carry yourself differently, speak differently, plan differently. And that internal shift is the strongest sign of all. Because when you begin to embody the version of yourself that this next chapter requires, the external begins to match it. It's not about becoming someone new, it's about finally allowing yourself to be fully seen. This is the momentum you've been working toward. And yet, as real as it is, it's only the beginning. The portal is open, but walking through it means continuing to trust what you feel, recognizing what's unfolding, and showing up as the person who knows they are ready. In the next phase of this journey, we'll talk about how to sustain this energy, how to move from signs into strategy, from invitation into embodiment. Because Leo, what's coming next isn't just possibility, it's proof. As this wealth portal opens and major houses in your chart are activated, it's equally important to recognize the emotional landscape supporting it. On April 3rd, the moon moves into Cancer, a transit that speaks less to ambition and more to the heart of what grounds you. The influence of the moon in this sign emphasizes home, emotional security, and the inner sanctuary that allows external success to take root. This lunar energy invites you to pause, even momentarily, and reconnect with what makes you feel safe. Amidst all the movement, career opportunities, shifting partnerships, rising intuition, there's a quiet message beneath it all. Rest is not a delay, it's part of the process. Taking time to nurture your body, tend to your inner world, or simply be with people who remind you of who you are outside of your roles is not indulgence, it's fuel. The moon in Cancer reminds us that true abundance isn't sustainable without emotional balance. You can step into success, but you must also have somewhere soft to land. This is a beautiful time to reflect on what home means to you, whether that's a physical space, a relationship, or a state of mind. Let this energy soothe you. Let it remind you that while the stars may be pulling you forward, they also honor your need to exhale, to feel, to belong. As you continue walking through this portal of transformation, keep one foot grounded in what nourishes you. Because the more secure you feel internally, the more boldly you can receive what the universe is offering. And Leo, it is offering you more than just opportunity. It's offering you wholeness. Alongside the nurturing presence of the moon in Cancer, there is a more complex layer unfolding, a square between the moon and Neptune. This aspect introduces a temporary veil, blurring the line between clarity and illusion, between what you feel and what is real. It's a subtle tension that can leave you questioning your own instincts, especially when emotions run high or when something seems too good or too uncertain to grasp fully. While the wealth portal is opening and your intuition is becoming sharper, this particular transit reminds you that not every emotional impulse is guidance. Sometimes, especially under a Moon-Neptune square, feelings are amplified through projection, memory, or fantasy. You might find yourself second-guessing others' intentions, or even doubting the momentum that's been building in your own life. It's important to recognize these moments not as red flags, but as invitations to slow down and separate the emotional noise from your deeper knowing. This is not the time to make snap judgments or irreversible decisions, particularly in areas where your heart feels entangled. Finances shared with others, emotionally charged partnerships, or situations that seem too vague to define. Give yourself space, step back, sleep on it if needed. The clarity you seek will return, especially as the moon continues its journey out of the square and into more stabilizing alignments. Use this moment as a check-in. Pair it with the grounding energy of the moon in Cancer. Instead of pushing for answers, focus on recentering yourself. Let your home, your body, and your breath become the places where truth has room to rise. Because once this Neptunian fog lifts, you'll want to be ready, clear, grounded, and steady for the choices and breakthroughs that are soon to follow. The path ahead is still unfolding, and your role is not to rush it, but to stay awake to it. As you continue navigating this powerful energetic window, another significant influence comes into focus. The retrograde motion of Venus, now forming a conjunction with the North Node in Pisces. This alignment operates on a more subtle but profoundly impactful frequency. Where the Moon-Neptune square may blur your emotions temporarily, Venus retrograde conjunct the North Node asks deeper questions. Questions that echo through the heart, the past, and even through the threads of karmic memory. This is not a light transit. Venus, ruler of love, value, and beauty, when retrograde turns our attention inward, and in Pisces, a sign that dissolves boundaries and invites spiritual connection, this inward journey goes even further. Combined with the North Node, which governs purpose, destiny, and the soul's direction, the result is a moment that asks you to reevaluate more than just your relationship. It asks you to reconsider your why. What patterns in love or connection have you been repeating unconsciously? Where have you compromised your truth in order to feel chosen? Have your goals, both romantic and material, been aligned with your deepest values? Or have they been shaped by expectations that no longer fit who you're becoming? These are not easy questions, but they are necessary. And this transit doesn't bring clarity through thought alone. It brings it through feeling, through memory, through spiritual insight. You may find yourself drawn to someone from your past, not necessarily to re-enter the relationship, but to resolve what was left unspoken. Or you may feel a strong urge to withdraw from superficial bonds in search of something that resonates on a soul level. In either case, this is a time for honesty, not only with others, but with yourself. Because the kind of abundance and recognition you're being prepared to receive cannot coexist with connections that deplete you or reflect outdated versions of who you are. This alignment is a course correction, a soft, insistent pull toward a future that honors your growth. And as we move toward the final stages of this portal activation, the clarity that Venus retrograde offers, when paired with the grounded action of Aries energy, will help you close old chapters with grace, so that you can fully commit to what's next. Because what comes after this isn't just opportunity, it's alignment. And alignment is what allows destiny to unfold without resistance. As we come to the end of this transmission, I want to remind you, none of what's unfolding now is accidental. The alignments you're experiencing, the shifts within and around you, the sudden opportunities, the questions resurfacing, all of it is a reflection of something deeper. You're being prepared for a new level of embodiment, of leadership, of abundance. This wealth portal is not just about money. It's about stepping into your full value. It's about claiming the authority you've earned, aligning with the people and partnerships that reflect your growth, and choosing to build a future rooted in clarity, purpose, and trust. So pause if you need to. Reflect. Ground. But don't hesitate when the moment calls you forward. The universe has already done its part. Now it's your turn to show up, to receive, to lead. Until next time, stay awake, stay aligned, and as always, trust the timing. Your chart is not just a map, it's a mirror, and it's telling you you're ready.